Okay, guys, we're going to be moving on into systems of equations. Now, systems of equations you guys have done before. So today we're not really learning anything new. This is kind of a review of what you were doing in Smith School, plus it's a review of what we've been doing for the last few weeks. Okay, so this activity you're going to be doing in IXL. This is U.2 Solve a system of equations by graphing. Okay, these are systems of linear equations by graphing. And as you start this, everything is going to be in slope-intercept form, so it'll be nice and easy to graph. As your score gets closer to 90, which is your goal for today, they won't be in slope-intercept form, so you may have to move them. Okay, so if we're looking at this, I'm looking at that first line, and that has a y-intercept of -4 with a slope of -1. Now I can graph that line, and once again, that line represents every single solution to this equation. Now let me go click the blue equation. Now we want to graph the y-intercept of +2 with a slope of +1, and that blue line represents every single solution to this equation. So the point where they cross is the one point that correctly solves both equations simultaneously. This is a solution that solves both equations. So that to me looks like the coordinate -3, -1. -3, -1 is going to be the coordinate solution to both equations. Okay, so now taking a look at the next pairing. Okay, so in order to have a system, you have to have at least two equations. If you have two variables, we're going to be dealing with the more advanced systems later, but to get started, we're only going to be doing two equations in two variables. So let's take a look at the green equation. We've got a y-intercept of +2 with a slope of -1. Okay, and that's every single solution to that equation. Now this one doesn't have a y-intercept, which means we're going through the origin. Now from the origin, we're going to go down to and over 1, and that's the slope. And that's going to be every single solution to that equation. And the point that they have in common, or the solution to both equations, is the coordinate -2, +4. -2, +4. Come on. And there we go. All right, so right now, score is a little bit low. These aren't too advanced, but here they're going to throw you a little bit of a curveball. Okay, now we have two lines. It's either a horizontal line or a vertical line. So we're going to graph one at a time. All right. Now, y equals -6. We'll go to the y-axis to -6. There's no x in the equation, so we want to draw a line that runs parallel to the x-axis. Now, x equals -4. We'll go to the x-axis, go to -4. There's no y in the equation, so we want to run parallel to the y-axis. And there's our coordinate. -4, -6 is going to be the point of intersection. Okay. Now, as we get closer and closer to a SMART score of 90, the problems are going to become a little bit more advanced. But I think many of you probably have the idea already. So y-intercept of 2, slope of -2, graph the line. Now x equals 4, go to the x-axis, hit 4, draw a line that runs parallel to the y. Okay, so there's the point that they share in common, and that looks like it's 4, -6. 4, -6. Okay, still haven't seen anything in any form other than slope-intercept, so let's keep working. We've got in the green line a +4 for the y-intercept, but a slope of -1. Y-intercept of -4 and a slope of +3. Looks like there's the point of intersection, 2, 2. And here we go. Now, these two lines are in standard form. Now, the one thing I can do is if I want to find the x-intercept, I can zero out the y. If I zero out the y here, that's going to be x equals 5, or 5 comma 0. Conversely, if I zero out the y, or zero out the x, I get the y-intercept of 5. So you can graph this by doing x and y intercepts. If you wanted to, you could subtract the x and get a y-intercept of 5 with a slope of -1. You can do the same thing here, but here I like graphing by the intercepts, so I'm going to go hit the green one. And if I zero out the x, my y-intercept has to be 6. And if I zero out the y, then 2x equals 6, or x equals 3. Conversely, I could have subtracted 2x and said y equals -2x plus 6. There's my y-intercept of 6 with a down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. But there's the common point, and that looks like it's the point 1 comma 4. 1 comma 4. Okay. Your job is to get to 90. Okay. Again, you can graph by intercepts, or if you want, put it into slope intercept form, and I think that's probably the most effective way to do it.